Hello, good evening everybody. Welcome back to another live stream here on FUTV United TV on location. And today has not been as mad as the last couple of days, and it's been a bit more of a quieter afternoon, but we still have significant updates to bring you. It gives us a chance to research everything that has happened a little bit more, rather than the frantic nature of what the last 2 days have been on FUTV United TV, covering all of the news that has broken. We've got more details on all of that, including Bruno Fernandes, Brian Mbeumo and Jadon Sancho. They've been the main topics over the last few videos, but tonight's show is about Victor Gyökeres and two journalists talking about Rashford and Amorim's relationship and what he wants as a striker, as a number 9. There's a reason why Victor Gyökeres hasn't gone anywhere yet. And we're starting to think, is there anything in the Manchester United side of things? He doesn't want anybody else until Victor Gyökeres says no. That's basically where we're at. I'm going to go into the details of the journalists that have been talking about this on the show as well. We've got an update on other targets. Nate Salt from the Daily Mail has been talking about a lot of stuff actually regarding Manchester United's options past Victor Gyökeres again. But first of all, I want to start on Gyökeres and where we're actually at with him. And then I'll move on to the Brian Mbeumo update, Jadon Sancho stuff that we've already covered, but just bringing up a little bit more up to date with things that have happened throughout the day so far. And then we'll get your comments and live chat in on that as well. If you are catching up later on and just watching, please do get your comments in the comment section below as well. And let's get into everything that is going on. I can already see loads of people talking in the chat. This would be the dream signing for all Manchester United fans, that being Victor Gyökeres. It hasn't gone away. Just quickly, in terms of Manchester United's competition for Victor Gyökeres, and the only reason I think the journalists have come into this and looked into it a bit more recently, all you have to do is look at the background and what's actually happening elsewhere right now. So, obviously Newcastle are keeping the likes of Alexander Isak, so they're not looking for a striker. Aston Villa have got financial issues themselves. I'm talking of all the big clubs ahead of us here. Tottenham are not even in the reckoning for anybody like Victor Gyökeres anyway, so we don't even need to worry about them. But you look at Chelsea, they're in negotiations now with Frankfurt over Hugo Ekitike, and there is news about to drop. Apparently, I've seen the signals and I've seen the signs from reports that there may have been a breakthrough regarding Benjamin Sesko and Arsenal. So United linked with Arsenal, obviously the Vival connection, which we touched on the other day. Nothing much more to talk about from the United side of that, because it does look like there is movement on the Arsenal side. So if that's Arsenal done, that's Chelsea done. And you go off the report that came out this morning, which was Victor Gyökeres is heading to England. It was kind of cryptid, like a cryptic clue and not fully a definite thing. But we're just looking at the signs here right now and what people are saying. So you look at what's happening elsewhere, then you look at what the journalists do next and how they move into a different story and where United are actually at. We knew that Liam Delap was a top target. He's gone. Ekitike was a far cry. We didn't want to go with an unproven Premier League striker. He is gone. We're looking at Osimhen. It looks like there is a story going around about Victor Osimhen to Liverpool. My friend Craig on Anfield Agenda is on that tonight as well, I've noticed. So if he's talking about it, then there's probably some story flying around somewhere on the Liverpool side that they're in for Victor Gyökeres as well as Florian Wirtz. God help everybody if they manage to pull them two deals off, by the way. But Osimhen, yes. When there's two Victors in play, I get the shivers because I can automatically think of Victor Lindelof and it throws me off a little bit. So apologies everybody. Osimhen to Liverpool, Gyökeres to United is what we're talking about a little bit. Look, putting all of the other clubs' negotiations together and what these journalists are saying. So I'll get into the actual journalist and what they have been saying now on Victor Gyökeres. It's all about the actual relationship that he had with Victor Gyökeres, Rashford Amorim, that is. And the story from Nate Salt, again, from the Daily Mail, he's brought out a big piece on a lot of stuff Manchester United this evening as well, or late this afternoon. Amorim has wanted the reunion with Victor Gyökeres from the start, but this is not the easiest deal to reach an agreement on, with Arsenal also strongly interested. So that there obviously is where I was pointing the Benjamin Sesko situation to. Arsenal can't afford two. So if they go out and get, obviously, Sesko, which apparently, not a definite, but apparently there is movement there. So we'll see if that is true over the next coming days. Obviously, Chelsea are going to buy two, in obviously getting Liam Delap, and they're looking into Hugo Ekitike from Frankfurt as well. That leaves Victor Gyökeres open for Manchester United. Now, this would be the absolute miracle of all transfer windows. And I have seen complete and utter meltdowns from opposition fans about Manchester United's transfer window so far. And it's just glorious. It's glorious to see everybody else having a meltdown. How Manchester United doing this? Why would this player move there? What have they got to offer that we haven't got to offer? Welcome to the world of a big club. That's all I'll tell you guys, and that's it. You don't realise what kind of club Manchester United is until you're in and around it and you're dealing with it. Just ask any of the journalists on the planet. They cannot live without Manchester United. So yes, opposition fans wondering what's happening. Even if you do finish above us in the league, we still manage to get deals done. And even I question it at the moment because we're that bad. I sometimes question it, but again, I've been proved wrong from what I was thinking and worrying about going into this summer about United getting deals done. But it's there. So if we did get GYOKERES, can you imagine the absolute ultimate meltdown that will be going on in opposition fan base and opposition channels? It would be the best. So the relationship is what Nate Salt's talking about regarding Victor GYOKERES. Now, him saying that this is the #1 target, this is the one that Rashford and Antony wanted. The reunion was the #1 thing that he wanted as his number 9. That being with Victor GYOKERES. That is because I think Nate Salt does a lot with Manchester United's academy. He speaks to Manchester United a lot. He's very well connected in at Manchester United. Whether or not this report is right or not, then we'll see in time, won't we? But it's not just him talking about it. It's also other journalists, and one in particular, Marco Alcaraz as well, who has been on top of this. Victor GYOKERES' move to Sporting was heavily influenced by Amorim, a coach he deeply admires. Man United see him as the dream striker target, with Amorim actively pushing to secure the player's commitment. Ruben's working on Victor GYOKERES himself. This is what he sees. See, what I think now is, and this is what threw me out with everything. Excuse me. God, came out of the blue, that one. Sorry, everyone. So, thank you. So, this is how I see it. So, Ruben again saying Mbeumo will stay because he will see all of the changes that are coming, and there will be big changes at Manchester. God, I'm going to sneeze again. I can't help it. I'm sorry. It came and it went. We'll carry on again. It'll catch me out in a moment. I know it will. But yeah, Ruben's saying these big changes are coming. I'm like, right, okay. Talk is cheap. Let's see some walking rather than all of the talking. Well, he's pretty much done some massive strides. In fact, he's run a bleeding marathon so far. You could say in getting Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo interested in Manchester United. Cunha done, and Mbeumo obviously, as we know, in terms of negotiations right now. So that's where Manchester United are at with them. And I'm thinking, like, when Ruben says big changes are coming, and Mbeumo will want to stay when he sees what Manchester United are doing. And see, this is the thing. It's like, I can believe that because of what's happened. And then, as always, just to be balanced, I'm thinking, well, it was all on Liam Delap. So it couldn't have been the #1 target. Could it have been? Could it have not? Look, there are two sides to this. Obviously, everyone has a veto at Manchester United. It is the players, it's the board, and it's Ruben Amorim. Nobody comes into United unless Ruben gives them the yes. It's as simple as that. He's going to say no if he doesn't like a player, and he'll agree with the rest of the board if he wants him to come in and work with him. So he has said before that we're only going to bring in players that want to play for Manchester United, not because of the Champions League. We know that Victor GYOKERES wants Champions League football. So this is all down to Ruben. This decision alone, I think, is on Ruben Amorim, and I think the board are going to have to back him on it because we're so deep in now. The finances of Manchester United and what we're doing right now and why we're so bullish and confident in the transfer market are simply because Manchester United are very, very confident from many reports now about moving players on. That's going to take us into the Sancho saga in a moment. But they're very confident about selling plenty of players on to raise enough money to buy what we need to. It's going to be a big number 9 by the sounds of it. There isn't anyone small out there. The smallest striker at Manchester United in terms of stature we were looking at has gone to Chelsea in Liam Delap. So Manchester United not getting him leaves us with the big guns that are left. And this is going to be interesting now. But these reports are saying that Victor GYOKERES and Ruben Amorim are in communication. Now that the season's finished, Ruben is the one pushing the deal to sign Victor Gyökeres. It's his #1 target. Romano has said it in exactly the same wording that Alcaraz has said it there, in that it's the dream signing for Manchester United. Can they do another Bryan Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha and try and convince a quality player to come to Manchester United even without European football? And again, I'll go back to what I said with Cunha signing, and then that prompting Bryan Mbeumo, then that prompting Bruno Fernandes, and all of a sudden, Ruben's power and Ruben's pull and lure, I think, starts to make other players look at this. And all of a sudden, Victor Gyökeres is looking at a team that's got 2 great 10s either side of him and Bruno Fernandes behind them. Now, that's quite formidable if you bring Victor Gyökeres in. I'm just spitballing here with this completely with the Victor Gyökeres thing and how he might be actually thinking. But you've got to start thinking yourself as to like why you would actually look at Manchester United all of a sudden. And I think it is because of the way that United have conducted business so far and what we've done. Like the excitement of last night and then Mbeumo coming in, like nobody's seen it coming. And that's that meltdown I was talking about with opposition fans before, which is glorious to see. But this... for Manchester United, I think would be I've said it before, right now it is a statement window from United with the players that we're bringing in. I think this would be the most significant and biggest transfer, most successful transfer window in this club's history if we manage to get Victor Gyökeres over the line as well. And if you're looking now, what we're looking at spending right there. I'm going to come into the comment section in just a moment. Actually, no, in fact, I'll come in now before I move on because I'm going to be moving into the spend next because there's a story that has come out today regarding Brentford's look on the Bryan Mbeumo situation, which I want to update you on. So let's get into the comment section now. Thank you everybody who's already liked the video, by the way. Really appreciate that. There is a super chat that I haven't seen that has gone through early doors. I do apologise. I can see SK's now, but for some reason YouTube is not showing up the other one. I do apologise, but thank you anyway if it is you that has donated that super chat. We need to put 100% focus on Gyökeres now. Honestly, it would send all rivals Lupe 15th and still the United. Fingers crossed. Ramos okay too. There is a story on Ramos again in the headlines tonight. I will get to that. I have got the most educated and well-balanced audience on YouTube. It's like everything I know I want to be talking about. You guys are knowing bits of it already, and you know what I'm going to be talking about. Clued up, absolutely mad fan base that I've got here on Forever United TV, and I love it. Right, moving on. That sneeze has absolutely sent me doolally now. The fact that the second one didn't come as well, it's made my eyes water and everything. Anyway, let's get into some comments. Stu Cantona says, I'd hope for Gyökeres, but if not, possibly I'll be happy with Mateta or Ramos as our 9. We need decent 8s to play next to Bruno, and the goalkeeper, oh my God, it will panic other teams. It will. It will. Under Richard Arnold, big signings took almost 50 days. Now, in just 3 days, United have signed Cunha and Mbeumo is on his way, and Bruno is staying. What a shift. Exactly, Justin. That's what we're talking about, and that is the significant movement in Manchester United now. And when Ruben says something, or we get a story about Victor Gyökeres, like I said, that sort of makes you think like, okay, what's going on? What is going on here? There must be something else going on behind the scenes again here. And that's why you start to think that maybe Victor Gyökeres can be done. Look, only because we got Cunha and Mbeumo am I feeling a little bit more confident about getting Victor Gyökeres. What, 2 days ago, I was on air and I'll hold my hands up and say I was not confident that Gyökeres was coming to United because Atletico Madrid were in for him. I remember what I said. I'm not going to flip-flop from it. I'm only going off these reports here. And I do feel like it has given me, as a United fan, a little bit more of a lift in thinking that we can actually get what looks like an impossible deal with where we are and the predicament we're actually in right now, getting it over the line and getting it finalised. I do believe in what's happening. Like, I had confidence in the recruitment team that Manchester United have got and the management team. I did have confidence in them, and I've said this before, and you can go and quote me back, and you all know I've said it. If they pull this off, they'd have exceeded my expectations and some. They really would. And you know you're making significant strides in the transfer market when the opposition fans are losing the shit. That's when you know that you've made statement signings already, and everyone's like, what's going on? Well, United are going on somehow. Like I said before, even I question what Manchester United might be able to do this transfer window, but bang, I've been shut down again. Adam, thoughts on Sancho? I think he's an embarrassment. How he goes on about wanting to stay at Chelsea, then refuses to take a pay cut. So much for freedom. Yeah, well, in terms of Jadon Sancho, Manchester United have pocketed that £5 million. And now we're looking to try and sell him on. There are options in the Premier League and across Europe for Jadon Sancho. United were, according to the reports, prepared for this. Nate Salt has been talking about this as well. A couple of other journalists have been speaking about this afternoon. After we did the video this morning, which loads of you have given me your opinion on, so thank you very much. We had some 300 plus comments on that Jadon Sancho video alone, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you for giving me your opinions on that again. But just to give my live opinion while we're all in the chat room right now with this one is, again, I tweeted it out earlier on. Freedom fighter Jadon Sancho is now free again to find his 5th club in as many years. He's an embarrassment as a professional footballer. He really is. From story to story to story. I don't want to go on too much about Jadon Sancho. All I want to do is talk about him leaving Manchester United. But from the issue as an academy player, Pep booting him out, to Haaland having to get him into training on time by letting him stay at Dortmund. Dortmund then selling him to Manchester United after a good season because of that, ripping United off. The problems with Ten Hag, the fallout there, and then going to Chelsea, obviously not wanting to accept a lower wage. The list is endless. Absolutely endless. And you remember what Nemanja Matic said. Manchester United were about to book a Christmas party, a lavish Christmas party in London off the back of Jadon Sancho's late fines. He's an embarrassment to Manchester United and we need to sell him as quickly as possible. Thankfully, he had an all-right end to the season, which might entice another club in so we can sell him to them. We will see, obviously. It's going to take, 25 mil? United have got 5 mil in the bank. If we can get him gone for 25 mil, then him not going to Chelsea might work out all right for us, like I said earlier on. In terms of the story regarding Bryan Mbeumo now, I wanted to talk about that and where we're actually at with him, is that a story came out from TalkSport earlier on, and then Nate Salt went into it in detail later on this evening as well, early evening, sorry, when he said that people at Brentford are not happy at all about the situation with Bryan Mbeumo. With him having 1 year left on his contract, there's no release clause. They've backed Brentford into a corner now because Nate Salt, like everybody else today, has said personal terms are agreed. It's not a problem. He wants Manchester United. This is no issue at all. Now it's down to United and Brentford, but Brentford are not happy with this being out in the public. They didn't want this to be a saga. They didn't want this to be something that was going to be big breaking news. They wanted to deal with it in their way because they obviously kept Bryan Mbeumo in January because they didn't want to sell him. And then, obviously, they knew he was probably going to leave. They wanted it to be probably a little bit more amicable. It still can be, and it still can be rectified. But the news coming out now is that they value him closer to 60 million, level with Matthias Cunha. You can't really argue with that, can you? Because his numbers are better than Cunha's. And I think Brentford now are quite within their rights with no release clause. So we can't act the way we did with Cunha. I think United were hoping that maybe 50 million, which has been spoken about a lot, was a fee that United could get. It doesn't look like it's going to be 50 million, that's all we'll say. But United can still afford this. There'll be add-ons put into it. There'll be all sorts of incentives put into this deal where Brentford will get the fee that they want. And even like what Nate Salt said and what Alex Crook said in TalkSport earlier this morning, it's a deal that will get done. It just might not be the straightforward 50 million. But one important thing that Nate Salt came up with from the Daily Mail, was that Ruben Amorim wants deals done promptly. He wants his team in as close to pre-season as possible. And for what Ineos have thrown him into and told him to do and has done, and the pressure that he's under right now, I think what we're looking at here is now they are going to back their manager, and it is going to be a case of, well, Ruben getting his players that he wants. And Manchester United are having to probably pay a little bit more than what they want just for the sake of well, Ineos backing their manager. That's all we're at. By the way, everybody, we passed 80,000 subscribers the other day. We're about to hit 81. We're only about 28 subscribers away, so we've had another 1,000 in just like a day and a half, which is absolutely immense. So really appreciate the support on the channel as always, everybody. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button next to that like button as well, and be part of the journey. 81k. The target is 90 before the start of the season. I think we can do it, and I'm sure you guys are up for it as well. So get subscribing if you can. Right, so into the comments section we go on them, please, everyone. Let's get into this. I'd love to see United just take Sancho back and not do anything with him. He has to get a trainer per his contract. He has to get a trainer per his contract. But I'd love to see him rot. I know they won't do that, but I'd love for that to happen. Yeah, for a Monday footballer who thinks he can determine what happens and basically run the club into the ground regarding his performances and what they have to give him. Like, him having all of the say and holding all of the cards, just to have a player put in his place. I get what you're saying, Wayne. It'll never happen, like you said, because modern football has changed massively and United need the money. That's the first and foremost. We have to deal with this situation and get Jadon Sancho out. Where he will go, there are options for him, but I doubt he is. I doubt he's going to find it easy to find his wages anyway. To find his wages. Interestingly enough, also in the news on the Garnacho side of things, now that Sancho hasn't signed for Chelsea, that has opened up a space possibly for the apparent preference for Alejandro Garnacho. That being that he wants and has told his agent to try and find a move or work a move to Chelsea. That, I think, is something that we can keep an eye on now, definitely as well, going forward. Now that Sancho's gone, they're looking at Mittens as well over in Dortmund. In terms of Jadon Sancho as well, there is another story that just popped up that I didn't see earlier on. Chelsea have declined the opportunity to sign Jadon Sancho permanently after failing to reach an agreement over contract terms, whilst the England star has missed out on one route out of Old Trafford. West Ham have established interest for a potential move. That from Talk Sports, whether or not that actually comes about, we will see. We will see on that one. Again, I think United were prepared for this to happen with Jadon Sancho. I think they were prepared to for this scenario where he didn't actually sign for Chelsea. They've known it was coming, and I think they're ready to go. And I've obviously made contacts. For West Ham to sign Jadon Sancho, West Ham have got money. I think if Kudus goes to the Saudi Pro League, Jadon Sancho will be cheap. And in terms of balancing books, I think that would be a good move for Jadon Sancho. Obviously, they've got a history with Jesse Lingard going over there and doing well for Manchester United, the forgotten man. And maybe they can think there's a scenario there again. We'll see. We'll see is all I'll say with him. It's like, no matter how much you don't want to talk about Jadon Sancho, he just makes you talk about him because he's so annoying. And we just want rid of him. But that's literally where we're at with him now. We'll see how that develops. The news obviously came today, and it's still early doors, but let's see. DBL says Rashford and Sancho should be allowed nowhere near United. It's time to move on. I really hope they do their jobs, even if it's a loan. Nate Salt touched on Marcus Rashford. Word around United at the moment is it's more likely that there will be a loan with option/obligation for Marcus Rashford at the moment. There is nothing looking likely. Inter have entered the race to sign Marcus Rashford. Again, Inter Milan looking at Man United players. We know about the interest in Rasmus Højlund as well, their number one target. If they're in the loan market, there's a couple of players at Manchester United that might suit them. Barcelona and several Premier League clubs want Rashford. United want 40 million to sell the forward. It isn't likely to happen, no. Not with the wages that he wants. And we all know that Marcus Rashford is extremely picky with the clubs that he wants to go to. He thinks he should be playing Champions League football, as we know. And Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford are, with all the positives going on right now at Manchester United, with what we talked about last night, Cunha and Mbeumo, Bruno staying, all of that good, you still got the reminder of all of the bad. And it can't all be done in one window, or can it? That's what Manchester United are up against now. If you told me that we brought in, I talked about this earlier on, Laurie Whitwell said United are still going for that energetic midfielder, powerful, energetic number 8 as well. So if you look at the stories regarding GYOKERES, that's an affordable. With all of this, with everything going on right now, GYOKERES is cheaper than Mbeumo and Cunha. So let that sink in. It's not like United can't afford GYOKERES. It's convincing him to come. And only because of what I've seen with Cunha and Mbeumo do I feel like this might actually have a chance of happening. But with what Manchester United have to do in moving players on, if you gave me an 8, the 2 10s and a 9, and United managed to only get them in, but they are 4 outstanding players in them positions, which we are looking at right now, and you got rid of Antony, you got rid of Sancho, you got rid of Rashford, you got rid of Malacia, you managed to move on Rasmus Højlund, a few other players as well, Garnacho in that, then I would probably say that that was a decent window for Manchester United. I know a lot of people are going to say that's not enough, Adam. No, it's not. But if we get back in Europe with that improvement coming into Manchester United's first team, then the first stage is Dwyer, definitely. Casemiro, if he doesn't get sold this summer, he'll be gone as well. And United will be attacking the window in a completely different way next summer as well. So do we have enough with them 4 signings in United starting 11 to get back into the top 6 in the Premier League with no European football to play with? I think we do. There'd be a lot of people that disagree with that. But if you manage to get rid of all of the crap, all of that deadwood, and bring in 4 absolute quality players in them positions, we're moving forward. I still, obviously, have got my issues with the goalkeeper. Still no movement on that, by the way. It's thought, again, and this came from Nate's and his big report that he put out this evening, that Andre Onana is more likely to stay and Bayendare is likely to be sold. And that's where United will be investing into the goalkeeper. Like we've always said, United are making it sound like they're bringing a number 2 in, but it's still someone good enough to challenge Andre Onana. And if it ends up being better, which it will, that's their way of easing Andre Onana out. And next summer, he'll have another payment off his transfer fee and instalments. That'll be 3 payments off. We're near enough done then, and we should be able to move him on next summer. And if he is second fiddle, then maybe we'll see the sign that he isn't good enough for Manchester United. The club don't want him, and he will want to move on himself, maybe. I don't know. I'll try to manifest something happening here. I just don't want to see him as Man United's number 1 next season. Him sat on the bench, I haven't got too much of an issue with. I haven't. I just don't want to see him as Man United's number 1 goalkeeper. Still waiting on that call from Ruben Amorim for next season. That's going to be very interesting to see how that goalkeeping situation plays out. Steve in with a super chat. No more loan moves for Rashford, Garnacho or Sancho unless it's with an obligation to buy with no strings attached. As in, no Sancho penalty fee coming back, Steve. I get what you're saying, buddy. The situation is difficult, though, for Manchester United with these players right now. It's finding people to actually buy these players. By the way, 15 people away from getting 81k. Can we get another 1,000 while we're live? I always love doing it while we're live. So if the opportunity comes, you haven't subscribed, get on it. We might be able to announce 81k while live, everybody, which would be great. Bruno behind Cunha and Mbeumo will move a better striker to join the team because there is an assurance of goals. As for Sancho, he held just... He should just find himself another club. Also, we need a goalkeeper. Agree with that one, matey. Let's get a few more comments in here as well. Well, we can, before anything else breaks, because it's been a bit of a mad one, like we said. I don't understand that the Chelsea position. They knew his wages when they signed him on loan with an obligation to buy. Chelsea are buying him much cheaper than what United paid. Yeah, I think Chelsea have taken us for a bit of a ride, to be honest, Jonathan. They've used him, they've got in the Champions League, and they think they can get something better now. That's how I see it. And they're probably going to come bid Man United in the balls to take buddy Alejandro Garnacho away as well. That's what I think they'll try and do next. We'll see if that comes about anyway. We will. Give Sancho a chance, says Glenn. No, sorry. I'm just going to say no, and I don't think United will either. Mark Ash says, Gyökeres, dream move is the Prem, Arsenal, nope, City, nope, Liverpool, I hope not. Can't see any other club enticing him. It's got to be United, Mark Ash. Manifest it, mate, please. Bradley says United will make sure that we have a great summer because even from a business point of view, a Manchester United that is in the Champions League brings in more money. Maybe they will finally do things right. They do look like they are trying to put the football first, don't they? They are trying to push Manchester United forward on the football pitch. I think that is ultimately going to bring Man United more money. It's in their own benefit to make Manchester United competitive again. If United are competitive, United will start to be profitable as well. And that's where we're at, realistically. And I do believe that United, under Ineos, will start to make more money. Whether you think the ownership model is right or not, I think United will start to turn more of a profit eventually. We do need to get through this season, though, and get back into Europe of some form. Otherwise, we are going to be struggling. So let's just see what happens with that. Let's just see what happens regarding the future of Manchester United after this transfer window, because I think that's when everyone's going to start judging everything that's going on. Super chats from Welshman Forever. I heard from a Chelsea fan that they offered 10 million for Sancho. I don't know. I don't know if that is true. What we do know is that Jadon Sancho was offered between 110 and 140 grand a week wages at Chelsea, and he turned them down. So that, I think, tells you everything. He wasn't willing to drop to 140. He wanted 200 grand a week wages to play at Chelsea. So again, greed has taken over Jadon Sancho, and he is... again, I don't want to talk about him. But that we know that's what he is, and we knew this was coming. A team paying 5 million not to sign you must be the biggest disrespect ever. You can say that again, Jonathan. Someone's paying 5 million to get rid of you. That's what Jadon Sancho is right now. That's how far this man's career has fallen. He is embarrassing. He really is. A couple more comments in before we move on to next. But Adam, we can argue it. Mbeumo has 1 year left on his contract, while Cunha has multiple years. They are not the same situation and should be priced differently. Cunha 62 million and Mbeumo 50 million. It doesn't work like that, mate, because Brian Mbeumo hasn't got a release clause. The only reason Cunha is 62.5 million is because that's the agreement that he signed in January. So they are different in a way, but United cannot get Brian Mbeumo for 50 million if Brentford say they're not selling him. If they say they want 60 million, United will have to come somewhere in the middle. I do think it'll probably work out approximately 55 million, something like that with add-ons. Something will be settled in the middle, I feel, or middle ground between both Brentford and Manchester United. Brentford will get a fair price, I think, which is, I think anything between 50 and 60 million, I think Brian Mbeumo is worth it. Completely worth it. For them goals, playing at Brentford, like 28 goal involvements, 20 of them being goals in the Premier League. Come on. Like, you'd pay 60 million for that all day long, wouldn't you? You pay 60 million for a number 9 with them numbers. Never mind a 10. And so now we've got a goal scoring 8 if you drop Bruno in. It's not ideal, I know, but put another master next to him, then you might get an even better Bruno Fernandes, which would be great. You've got the goals and creativity of Mbeumo and Cunha, and then a quality striker. You're cooking. You really are cooking. And that's not just a barbecue at Carrington. You really are moving then, aren't you? Mitrovic is 30, someone asking in the chat there as well. In the reports from Nate Salt again, though, if Gyökeres doesn't happen, you're looking at Manchester United's alternatives and what we might be going for if, like I said, it doesn't happen with Victor Gyökeres. And that would be obviously Jean-Philippe Mateta. Nate Salt says Jean-Philippe Mateta has been on United's radar for some time, but he is leaning towards staying at Crystal Palace to help them in their first ever European campaign. He's took the words right out of my mouth. I've said this before. His first time in Europe with Crystal Palace. The fact that they're above Manchester United in the table and have got European football, he can leave on a free next summer. So why would he move this summer? I know Crystal Palace will try and negotiate a deal in season next season for Mateta if he doesn't sign one this summer, or in fact move anywhere else. But again, why would you? Like you're going to leave on a free. So your options there next season. Why not give the team that gave you your opportunity in the Premier League a go in Europe as well and help them out? That's probably right in where Mateta's head is at. With the option of being able to go wherever you want the following season, I'm playing Europe this season. That's probably enough for Mateta to think, I'll stay. But in terms of Manchester United's other targets, here's this name again. And this has come from a couple of sources. Now, we spoke about this actually last night. Man United have been offered Paris Saint-Germain striker Gonzalo Ramos by intermediaries, and that is one to watch as the striker market develops further in the coming weeks. Yeah, I can see what it's all saying here is this one will come if something doesn't happen. He isn't a first choice. I don't even think he's a second choice. You could say he's between second and third choice for Manchester United, but this is where United are at if GYOKERES doesn't happen. I think he's there as an option. By the way, everybody, over 500 likes on the show as well. Thank you so much. If you were choosing between choosing between Mateta and Gonzalo Ramos, I would pick Mateta all day long. And I think that would be a fantastic signing for Manchester United. It really would. Just to keep you up to date again and go over what we said at the top of the show, why we're talking about these strikers and the possibility of GYOKERES coming in. Two journalists talking about what Ruben is doing and how Ruben is pushing for the GYOKERES signing. We're also hearing that there could be movement soon and news breaking regarding Benjamin Sesko to Arsenal, which takes Arsenal out of the reckoning for GYOKERES. Liverpool are looking at Victor Osimhen, possibly. Chelsea are in for Ekitike and already have Liam Delap. The other teams above Manchester United in the league of significance don't even come into it because they're not on the list of teams that Victor GYOKERES can leave for. It's England, Arsenal and Manchester United, and I think Chelsea were in there on the list of teams he can go and join for the cheaper price, because not every club can buy GYOKERES this summer, and that's the clause in his contract. United are in it, and Ruben is pushing this deal, and he is pushing it hard. So that's the situation with the strikers. Mateta looks like he's edging to stay in, so he could be off. And if United don't get GYOKERES, we really are scraping and scrambling around, which is why Gonzalo Ramos' name has come up as well. So that is where we're at with the striker situation and why GYOKERES is hot topic at the moment, because he is the most likely striker right now for United, affordable-wise and what Ruben wants. There isn't many other options. There isn't, because I would not fancy Gonzalo Ramos as Manchester United's top striker next season. Not taking anything away from him, but he hasn't got a good record as GYOKERES, and he hasn't got Premier League experience like the other strikers we're talking about. But there won't be anyone left very soon. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens this week with GYOKERES. I still stand by. I think we'll get a decision for Victor GYOKERES wherever he's going this week. I think it'll happen, definitely. So we'll see how lucky Manchester United are if we do manage to get him as well. Holy shit, blown away, like I said before. In terms of other news, Manchester United are feeling like Marcus Rashford is probably going to be a loan with option or obligation to buy. Inter Milan have come in to the offering for Marcus Rashford as well for a loan, like they are with Rasmus Højlund. Sancho as possibly an option out through West Ham. Now, that might actually work because West Ham, I think, are stupid enough to pay high enough wages for Jadon Sancho. And if Mohamed Kudus does go to the Saudi Pro League, there is a spot and there is money available. So that would definitely be an option. And like I always do, I look at other clubs and I look at the other scenarios and build up these reports. And there were a lot of people laughing at us a couple of days ago, even yesterday, when we were talking about Bryan Mbeumo. And look what happened. You only have to read between the lines and figure it out and get a little bit of inside knowledge of some people that might have that inside track and go with it. And sometimes, yeah, the timing just surprises you. But look, United with Cunha and Mbeumo, and what we've shown there, I don't think anything is off the table for us right now. I really don't. Going down the pecking order at Manchester United as well, in terms of other news which is going on. The feeling around Manchester United is that Harry Mas is determined to stay and fight for his place alongside Patrick Dorgu. The only problem that Harry Mas has got there is that Diego Leon is due to arrive in Manchester and will be on Manchester United's pre-season tour. He is going to officially be a Manchester United player on July 1st, and that may mean less game time. With less games in the leagues, with just the league and the cups this season for United, for Harry Mas. So it is, I think, difficult one. I mean, loans. It is reported that Manchester United will be an option for loaning out Harry Mas. Sekou Koné as well looks like he's going to Lausanne, Manchester United's other club under the ownership of Ineos. So Lausanne looks like it could be a destination for Koné. Again, another midfielder going out on loan. Bruno staying. You've got to start thinking about Kobbie Mainoo's situation and his future. I don't care what Gary Neville says. I think Gary Neville is completely detached from reality right now in terms of where Manchester United are. The fact that he came out and said we don't need a goalkeeper, it still baffles me to the day. So really, when he says that we cannot be getting rid of Kobbie Mainoo, I mean, this is a man that's interviewed Ruben Amorim and got into details on what Ruben Amorim wants. And if you're buying 210s and keeping Bruno Fernandes, there is not much room there for Kobbie Mainoo, unless he's thinking of playing Kobbie next to Bruno. And now on paper, it looks great, doesn't it? But we all know that Kobbie's struggled in that area in getting up and down the pitch. He hasn't got them. He hasn't got that, what Ruben's looking for. And I still stand by what the likes of Laurie Whitwell said at The Athletic when he said that United are still looking for that dynamic, energetic, controlling midfielder as a number 8, as well as the 9 and the 10 that we're about to bring in again with Mbeumo. So, yeah, there's a lot that can happen and there's a lot that's going to change throughout Manchester United in the summer. Plenty of players leaving, plenty of players coming in, it would seem. A few more chats. Bring your comments in, everybody. We are up nearly 600 likes, people. So thank you again. Absolutely brilliant effort from you all. And there's plenty of comments coming in alongside it. Kobbie doesn't have the legs anymore. He's only 20. Technically, even Bruno does not fit the system, but he brings the characteristics which Ruben wants to work with. Whether or not you can get more out of Bruno with better players around him in this system, I think that's how possibly Ruben Amorim is looking at this. That's how I see it anyway. But look, we'll get to the bottom of that when the season starts. Adam, I think it's safe to say that Amorim is in regular contact with GYOKERES, or this would have been shut down by now. I agree with that. Thanks for that, Philip. DJ Dark UK Night, is that what that says? I don't know about Kobbie. Was excited for him with England, but was turned off by his demands. Yeah, I think a lot of us were, mate. They really were. I'd take Ramos before Mitrovic, says Carnage made. Liam says sell Kobbie, technically great. Athleticism isn't there though. Kobbie doesn't have the legs anymore. Who said that? Boxing. Yeah, I know. I was thinking that as well. But yeah, that does wrap up everything that we need to talk about tonight, everybody. It was nice just to do a normal show. Still significant because I think we are going to get some big updates coming tomorrow. So make sure that you're tuned in for the updates around Manchester United tomorrow. So you've got to be subscribed and you better have that bell notification button on. We have got over 600 live likes. Absolutely brilliant. Please hit that subscribe button. I'll just do a check on how many subscribers we've actually got. We are 4 subscribers away from 81,000. Deary me. Anybody who did fancy subscribing right now to get us to 81k before we finish the show, that would be nice. I'm going to have to talk for maybe a couple of seconds more just while someone actually subscribes, so we can claim the 81 title while we're live. It's always good to do it while we're live. And landmarks, I can't do countdowns like this. It's too much agony. It's painful. 3 more apparently. 1 more to go. We're almost there, people. Keep them coming. Like Modern Samurai says in the chat, like, share and subscribe, people. Let's get at 81k, and then I can go out for some dinner and be happy. And there we go, 81,000 in the bag, everybody. We've gone right over it, actually. You guys are epic. You just slaughtered it in 2 minutes. So thank you, everyone. Great way to finish the show. 81,000 in the bag on the subscriber counts. We're already well on the march to our target, which is 90k before the season starts. But for tonight, that is it. Have a fantastic evening, everybody. Keep liking the video. Keep commenting. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'll see you at 8 o'clock in the morning. Unless we get another bomber tonight. Please, David Ornstein, just give me a night off so I can enjoy my meal. But